Appreciate the beauty of nature and taste what's in season every month. What food will a foreign consul make for a traditional Chinese solitary? Falling around August 7th each year, beginning of autumn, is the 13th of the 24 traditional Chinese soliterns and the first one in autumn. China has a vast territory. After beginning of autumn, in northern China, the difference between the day and night temperatures increase. Leaves gradually turn from green to yellow, and fruits are ripe. However, in the south, the hot weather won't come to an end, and summer fruits such as watermelons and cantaloupe are still abundant at this time. According to ancient books, beginning of autumn forecasts that crops will begin to ripen. Despite the differences between the north and south, early signs of autumn already appear in the natural world. As soft, cool breeze caresses your face, you'll see some leaves falling from phoenix trees and grains getting plump. It means you survived the scorching summer days and the fruitful season is approaching. Cook dry tangerine peel with ginger juice. Slightly stir-fry white lapla beans. Remove soil from Alscholzia, a Chinese medicinal herb. Alscholzia tea is a famous recipe that was recorded in China's official medical book over 1,000 years ago. As summer heat hasn't dissipated completely during beginning of autumn, taking Alscholzia tea at this time helps strengthen the spleen, remove dampness, and relieve summer heat. Cut Chinese sausage, salted egg, and chives into pieces. Add them to the batter and mix. Pour it into the cake mold and bake it for 3 to 5 minutes. Thus, we get luo di zi, or Chinese-style waffles. It's a special snack in Guangdong. Today, with this distinctive local snack and healthy herbal tea to deal with heat, I'm going to meet my new friend. Mr. Sylvain Fourier just assumed his new post as Consul General of France in Guangzhou in September 2021. Curious about this ancient city, he often wanders the streets and valleys to discover something new. He looks at the European-style buildings in Shamian Island to experience the evolution of Chinese urban architecture. He'd explore stores in the old town and, starting from a cup of coffee, feels new life in old Cantonese buildings. Today, I'd like to invite this big fan of ancient architecture to visit the Diaolo, or watchtowers and villages, in Kaiping, Guangdong. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Bonjour, Monsieur Fourier.
Bonjour, Viviane.
Welcome to Lee Garden here. And how do you like the architecture style here?
Oh, it's an amazing place. I'm very happy to be here today with you.
So shall we start our journey now? This way, please.
Oh, Vivian, the weather is very hot today.
So I've specially made a special tea for you. I hope you will like it. It's kind of Chinese herbal tea. Please have a try. How do you feel about it?
It's very sweet. It's very amazing because I have never drunk such a tea.
This is called香薷饮, Alscholzia tea. It is used for relieving the lasting summer heat in autumn, and it is good for your spleen and stomach. traditional herbal tea, actually, it tastes bitter. But
no, it's
this
sweet.
one, yeah, it's a little bit sweet
Yeah?
because we add some sugar to make it taste better.
This is the clue. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, today is the first day of autumn, but the temperature are still so high. Should not be cooler at that time of the year?
Actually, the philological changes during the beginning of autumn are more obvious in the northern China. But in the south, the weather is far from autumn. So we call these autumn tiger to indicate the lasting heat from the summer.
Yeah.
That's why we could still feel the heat in autumn, especially in the south.
Yeah. And so, how Chinese people really know that it is the beginning of autumn?
As an idiom goes, the fall of a leaf tells the arrival of autumn. Asian Chinese people actually like to observe the things in their life and in nature, from the sun, the moon, the stars, to plants, flowers, fish, bees, and etc. I think Chinese people always believed that they could gain wisdom from observing the details or observing the rules of nature.
Yes, it seems that Chinese people have the sense of details. They observe nature. They have understood the hidden connections between all the details.
I think it's also the scientific spirit of the West.
Yes, it is observations, pragmatism, analysis of the real laws of nature.
And in Chinese culture, this is actually what Confucianism concluded as 格物致知. It means to learn through investigation. So it means that to gain true knowledge, Chinese people must learn extensively and conduct meticulous research and personal practice.
So it's a continual cognitive process, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, like the 24 solar terms first appeared over 2,000 years ago, and through repeated revisions and additions. Nowadays version of 24 solar terms has actually become the perfect climate system for guiding the agricultural production. So do French people pay a lot of attention to details of procedure or the details of nature?
Of course, details are, as in China, very important. France is an agriculture country at the base. If we take the example of wine production, at the beginning of autumn, seeing the weather, if it's sunny, rainy, windy, people will decide when is the best day to harvest grapes. And it is because of all those details that the wine will be good at the end. So yes, it is very important, and for centuries and centuries, people in rural areas have put great attention to details.
The winemakers actually are both scientists and artists.
You're right.
Yeah, because every single practice could make a big difference in taste.
Yes.
Talking about the details, shall we have other special snack? I want to see whether you could find some detail that is familiar to you.
Yes, it looks like a waffle, but perhaps it's not made with sugar. If we see with attention, it could be salty.
You can have a try. Wow, this is a very special dessert. So how do you like the special waffles?
It's very interesting. I like them because Western style, the shape and the taste of the waffle itself. But you have some elements from Chinese gastronomy, the salty eggs, Chinese sausage, which is really flavored. And you know, I used to eat a lot Asian food from Vietnam, Thailand, and South China. So I like it very, very much. Really, it's quite amazing, but it's a nice discovery for myself.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you could get used to these foods. So would you like some strawberry jam?
So, Vivian, could you explain me the origin of this waffle?
This is actually local specialty in Jiangmen, and it was invented by returned overseas Chinese who brought back their plates of waffles, and that's why the shape of this dessert is like the waffles.
Right.
I think the style of architecture actually was a combination of the Chinese elements and the Western elements.
Ah, yes, it's very interesting, but I noticed some turrets overhanging.
you noticed that?
Yes, and it reminds me the turrets of French medieval castle, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe because the turrets of the French castle are effective in defense.
Right.
So maybe that's why it was adopted to resist the bandits at that time.
Oh, I understand.
Kaiping is known as the hometown of overseas Chinese and also the hometown of Diaolo. Over the past centuries, to prevent floods and bandits and to protect their families, returned Chinese from overseas built many multi-story defensive village houses. Up to now, there are still 1,833 of them preserved. These watchtowers display a complex and flamboyant fusion of Chinese and Western structural and decorative forms, mixing ancient Greek, ancient Roman, and Islamic elements. In June 2007, UNESCO designated Kaiping Diaolo and Villages a World Heritage Site. Kaiping has also been developed as a popular tourist attraction.
Well, the owner of this garden is called Xie Weili. He was born in China. He was sent to United States when he was a little.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the new. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it.
French cuisine restaurant in Guangzhou.
Really?
Yes. Do you mind if we visit this restaurant?
Sure, I would love to.
Yes.
Okay,
So-
let's go.
Good afternoon, Noemi. It's a great pleasure to introduce you, my friend Vivian.
Hello, welcome Vivian.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hope you both have an enjoyable dining experience here.
For sure.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. This way, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Vivian, please.
Wow, the decorations here are so vintage and minimalist.
That's right, it's so fancy here, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Today I prepared a special three-course degustation for you to enjoy that represents French fine dining with a little bit of Cantonese added to it.
It sounds great, Chef Cullen.
Wow, it sounds innovative.
Innovative.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to pop back to the kitchen and organize this degustation for you to enjoy.
Thank you very much, Chef Cullen.
Okay. Thank you. What impressed you the most in this restaurant?
Oh, it's the whole, the elegance of the place. It's also, of course, the quality of the food, the quality of the service. Every single details have been really thought.
And I know that France is the first country to have its gastronomy on this UNESCO's list.
Yes, that's right. According to UNESCO, the gastronomic meal of the French is a festive meal bringing together people for an occasion to enjoy the art of dining and drinking.
I was wondering because in my impression, I think there will be a lot of knives and forks on the table for French cuisine. But I could see today is quite simple.
Yes, because it's a modern way. The traditional way, tableware is put on the table and you have to follow a certain order to use the different knives and forks. It's very easy, in fact. In the modern restaurants, they will change every courses the different forks and knives. And so you do not have to fear of any mistake.
So does it mean I could acquire the knowledge of French food culture through eating the food later?
Absolutely.
I don't want to eat. Because I don't want to destroy it.
Delicious.
Expect the unexpected. This one here is our pigeon.
the most impressive experience living in Guangzhou for you?
After my arrival here, I didn't have a way to pay with my phone. And I wanted to buy a coffee, but I had only one note of 100 yuan. And they hadn't small money to give me back. And so they told me, no problem, we offer you the coffee. I make a tour, I make a walk, I bought a bottle of water, I had some little money, and I came back to the coffee. I had the money to pay the exact price. But it was really sympathetic and a very good experience.
Sympathy. Yeah, you use a very detailed word to describe Cantonese character. 格物致知.
格物致知.
Yeah, we learn through observing the details.
Absolutely.
As a Consul General, how do you see the prospects of cooperation between China and France in the future?
I think that cooperation between France and China, and in particular France and the southern part of China, is a long cooperation, ancient and rich cooperation in many fields. I try my best to develop the relations and the partnership in the economic fields. The second great field is the cooperation in the universities, research, education areas. The third field, which is very important in my opinion, is people to people, and it passes through culture, the cultural contacts, relations, partnerships. It's very important to let the French people have more knowledge about the Chinese culture, in particular of the southern part of China, and of course to make the Chinese people have access to the French culture.
So, Mr. Forrier, at this very special moment, I want to extend our warm welcome to you for your consumption of duty here. Shall we propose a toast?
Oh, with pleasure.
Yeah, for the friendship.
For the future.
And everyday life.
Cheers!
As cool breeze blows, you'll see some leaves fall from phoenix trees during beginning of autumn. The fall of one leaf is enough to tell of autumn's arrival. Chinese wisdom tells us a small sign can indicate a great trend. And the same goes for Mr. Sylvain Fourier. He learned the wisdom of returned overseas Chinese from the detail of Diallo and felt the vitality of Guangzhou from a cup of coffee. In the new era, China and France, two ancient countries that both emphasize learning through investigation, are sure to uphold independence and mutual understanding, achieve mutual assistance, and maintain sustainable growth.